Good afternoon. Hopefully you have these notes in front of you, and we're going to look at the concept of using slope and the y-intercept to graph without using the data table. So yesterday, or the last class, we were using a data table to graph an equation, and today we're just going to kind of show you the shortcut. Okay, let's recall slope, which is m, is a ratio for the change, remember that triangle means change in y over the change in x. And we're going to make that change starting at the y-intercept. And remember, B is the point where it crosses the y-axis. So x will be equal to 0, and it will be whatever B is, and then that would be the y-intercept. So from that point, so from this point, we're going to use our change in y and change in x to find other points, so we'll be able to graph the equation. So let's move this down a little bit. So you can see where y, that's where we begin, and then we move using the slope. So in this case, we have to identify the y-intercept is going to be at 0. Remember, the y-intercept is a point 0, 6. So let's plot that point on a graph. And the slope in this case is -2. So that's going to be -2 over, well, there's nothing under that, so it's going to be 1. So the change in y is negative or down, because negative means down, 2, and to the right 1. So from 6, we're going to go down 2, and to the right 1, and we have another point. Now, we can use the slope from any point given to find the next point. So the next point is actually down 2 and to the right 1. And there I have my other point. And at this time, I can graph the line. Now remember, when you put a line on a coordinate plane, remember to take it all the way across the coordinate plane. Down 2 over 1, so that looks about right about there. And remember, it goes on forever, so you put your arrows on the end. Okay, so let's check out number 2. Okay, so our y-intercept is at -6, and our slope is 5 over 1. So we go to -6, 0, -6. Always make it a point. So 0, -6. There's our point. Now it says 5, and it's positive, so we're going to go up 5 and over 1, and we have a second point. Now I could put a third point on there. If your points are really close, I'd advise putting a couple points to spread out, but since these are fairly spread out, I can go ahead and put my line in. Oh, that's a big one. I don't want that. So let's get a little bit of a smaller line there. There we go. All the way across the graph, through both points, and put your arrows on the end. Okay, so that's graphing using a point and the slope, or using the y-intercept and the slope. So now we got to answer the questions down here. I didn't answer it for the first one. Is -4, 14 a solution to this equation? So if I'm asking a solution to this equation, and this is for this one here, for number 1, if we're asking for the solution of the equation, in other words, is that point on this equation. So we can actually do that by substituting it into the equation itself and figuring out if it is a solution to it. So let's scroll up here. Let's put it into that equation. So if I put in -4, and we call y equal to 14. So we're going to see if 14 is equal to negative 2 times negative 4 plus 6. Let's see, now we have 14 is equal to negative times a negative makes it positive. So that's 8. 2 times 4 plus 6. And then 14 equals 14. So yes, it is a solution. So I'll write the word yes here. Yes is a solution. Okay, let's check out number 2. And the question is 0, 6 a solution? That would be no. We know that already because this would be a y-intercept. Then we have 0, negative 6. So 0, positive 6 would be not on the line. So that would be no. Okay, let's slide down. Let's check out number 3. Number 3, the y-intercept's at 0, negative 2. The slope in this case is 1 over 5. So that's my rise over my run. So let's start at our first point of 0, negative 2. And now we have to rise up 1 and go over 5. So here's my second point. They're pretty well spread out. So I can actually go ahead and put my line in. All right, so I'll start from here, come across. And once again, make sure your line goes all the way across your graph because we'll use lines to do interpretations of different values on there. Okay. So now put my arrows on the end. And it's all done. Okay, so let's check this one out. Number 4, there's nothing added on. So it really is plus 0. So my y-intercept is at 0, comma 0. My slope is down 2, to the right 3. So 0, 0 being my first point. And then my slope says go down 2 and over to the right 3. So now I have 2 points in, pretty far apart. So I can go ahead and graph this line. All right, so let's say maybe on my line tool. Start here, go through 0, 0. Once again, make sure you pull it all the way across the graph. Like that, and put our arrows on the end. And there you have it. Okay, so we're able to graph functions using a point and the slope. Please do the practice in MathSpace on this, and I will be posting up another video shortly.